Hello, everyone. Welcome to my 98th live stream. This is Brian and Keem. Today is July 10th. So I hope you all are having a good day because, um, oh, wait, got to start stream. All right. So now I guess we can restart again. Forgot about that. So I want to let you guys know what I thought of Clementine Lives. This was an absolutely terrible story. Okay. Like, I don't understand why they greenlighted this. I mean, did Robert Kirkman even look at it for 2 seconds? I mean, this story has so many problems. First off, we don't even know how much of a time skip that they did. And, oh, hey, Epic.
Brian.
Hey, Epic. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Yeah, this comic, man. Oh my god.
It is really bad. I'll list off so many things that are wrong with it. One thing is like, okay, unlike Negan Lives, they actually got Charlie Adler to come back, which you can see that as canon. You know, Negan Lives because they actually got Charlie Adler to come back, and Negan also feels within character in that issue. But Clementine in Clementine Lives, the artwork is off, and Clementine does not act like herself. Not even AJ. AJ would never let Clementine just walk away. He would be grabbing her by the leg. He would say like, "I'm not leaving you. You know, we are a team," just something like that. Because AJ, do you remember when Clementine told AJ to leave her in the barn? He wouldn't even do that. Like,
Yeah, I do. It's completely out of character.
exactly. Hey Dan.
Uh, uh, I mentioned this to Walker Dead the last time we spoke, and that, Clementine in this comic, what she does goes against what Lee taught her and what he wanted her to do during his final moments.
Absolutely. Lee wanted Clementine to live a good life, and she finally got that at the end of season 4. She got to live that good ending. The happy ending that she worked so hard for, that she deserved, but they just took it away, just like that.
Hey guys,
Hey
Yeah,
Dan.
yeah, do you agree with that, Dan?
I do. Yeah, honestly, this comic, I'm gonna just say this. I mean, honestly, Clementine is a character that's been like demanded to have returned, but I still mean like what I said is that honestly, even though it is a character that like a lot of us wanted to see a little bit more of her, I definitely think that honestly, this comic should have just never happened. I honestly, yeah, I would rather nothing than get this.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. This comic shouldn't have happened. It was a mistake.
and you guys want to know what's funny? Like this is what they should have done for Clementine Lives, honestly. Um, okay, so like this might need this might need some testing, but like, okay, so like my idea for Clementine Lives is that one thing is they should have definitely got Charlie Adler to come back, because this new artist, it just doesn't feel canon like Negan Lives, because it's not even Charlie Adler doing it. So that is one flaw. They should have got Charlie Adler to come back. If I mean, I'm sure he would come back and do like one volume or one comic, because he did it for Here's Negan. He's not doing a comic every month anymore. So, and another problem is obviously the story. So one thing I think they could have done with the story instead is that you have like AJ and another kid from the school, and they come across that caravan they mentioned in season 4, and it's the Commonwealth, obviously. And I would just have it where Clementine is hesitant about trusting them, but then, eventually, like we see in the issue, that they explain the Commonwealth, and she slowly starts to trust them. And then, like, I would have had the very last thing in the comic, in Clementine Lives, I would have had a scene where AJ and Clementine are at the Commonwealth, and you just have AJ who's just so excited, and he accidentally bumps into someone. He drops his hat, and then we see a man pick it up, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry about that. Here's your hat back." And then we see that the man is an older Carl. Like, that would have been that should have been the real ending to Clementine Lives.
Agreed.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Another thing I hate about this comic is the fact that Clementine, like, she just, like, hat that she's had since she was 8 years old, and it's been with her for, like, her entire life, pretty much. She just gives it up.
Yeah, and then she takes it back. Like at the final season, when she gives AJ the hat, it symbolizes that this is the end of the character. She doesn't die, but she's no longer a character in the zombie apocalypse who can just survive, run from zombies. She has to take it easy. And then like AJ, but AJ is the one who can do that now. Like that's what they symbolize in season 4 when she gave AJ the hat. Like it was his turn to be
I
that
just
kind of.
don't like how she treats AJ almost like he doesn't matter. Like this whole thing like just didn't matter. It's like, oh yeah, like it's almost like she didn't say this, but it's almost like she's like, yeah, I'm bored of you now. Okay, I gotta go. Like really? Like I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I definitely agree, especially because this final season, season 4, she's like, even the end of season 3, that was her main goal to get AJ back, and then final season, she's just devoted to protecting AJ, teaching him, and then this comic, she was like, "Hey AJ, I'm done with you. Go away."
Well, it's like she even lost a leg. Like honestly, I don't know. It's a little hard to believe to me that she would just be like gone. Like she'd just be like, yeah, okay, like you're here now. I'm bored. Like I got 3 novels coming up, then you can't be in it. So see ya.
Hey
Oh, that
Brian,
is so dumb. Yeah.
hey, Brian, you agree with what I said?
Um, you were talking about how Clementine literally spent seasons trying to protect AJ, and get him back, and then she did that, and then now she's just leaving him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for so many reasons. And also, guys, this is the equivalent. Imagine this. Imagine if instead of the way Rick left in season 9, imagine if they did this instead. Imagine if you had the very first episode of season 9, we see, the new Rick, and imagine he tells Michonne imagine we see Rick leaving Alexandria, and then he tells Michonne that, I'm sorry, but you can't come with me. And then Michonne, obviously, she would be like, what are you talking about? What about me, Judith? And then he would just say, like, I'm not happy. You're not, you guys, like, after Lori and Carl, it's just not the same. You know what I mean? Like, how, and then Rick left. Like, how angry would the fans be? How messed up would that be if Rick left? Like, I'm just saying, like, as an example. This is what basically happened in the story. Like, but in the Clementine version.
It's like, yeah, based on the response that this comic got, pretty much no one is liking it. No one is happy with it.
No, but this is the other thing about it too, and this is the kind of like the other thing I've always mentioned is that, and honestly, I mean, feel free to agree or disagree. This is just my opinion on this. I honestly think that the Clementine character, I always think that they wanted to end it with season 4. I think they honestly wanted to leave that character alone, and I think that because there's so much fan demand, they're just like, well, I mean, I guess we'll give fans what they want, and we'll bring the character back, but. I'm sorry, unless the novels prove otherwise, this is evidence right here, this comic, that they never had a long-term plan with Clem after the games. They just did this to basically give fans the character back, which at this point, like I said, I would have rather get nothing.
Yeah, her ending in season 4 was perfect. And I agree with that, Dan. They had no plans to continue Clementine after season 4. They had no plans whatsoever. They wanted her to, have all these years, 7, 8 years, almost a decade, and all the seasons has been building up to her. Think about it. Season 1, she loses her parents, and then she loses her first family, the group that she was a part of. And then in season 2, she learns how to survive. And then season 3, she learns to believe in people again, to accept people, to give them a chance. And then season 4 is Clementine doing that. And unlike in the previous seasons where she was too weak, she actually protects her group. Clementine comes full circle. She actually saves her group in season 4, and that makes her a great character because not only did she protect the family she had, she finally is strong enough to survive, and they had no plans to continue the story. And I get that fans want Clementine, but if I was them, I would be like, well, we can't think of a reasonable explanation why Clementine would leave on her own, so we're just not going to do the story. Until you guys can figure out a good reason, just don't do it. Just don't continue Clementine's story. Why she would leave the group.
But Walking Dead is doing what Walking Dead is doing what Walking Dead does best, if you will, and that's sarcasm when I say that. And they're milking it. They're just like, well, fans want something else. We'll give them some other story, like from a character, and we'll do something else. Like they never had a long-term plan with that character past season 4. And now, honestly, that's why, look, I do like the character. I'm just saying though, I'm like, okay, in the novels, where is that going? Like is she just gonna die in the third novel? Is that what they're gonna pull, or like what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
me personally, if they kill Clem in the third novel, then that's just going to destroy everything.
yeah, and like you guys see in the thumbnail of the video and in the chat, um, you know, this is not canon. I am not gonna believe it's canon one bit.
Yeah,
Like,
me neither.
Man, well, you know what though? Part of that is kind of true though when you think about it, because I don't know if you guys have read this one yet, but like Skybound X is doing also like a little 5-part series of like basically The Walking Dead and like an alternate reality, and you got like aliens and all that like random stuff, and it's basically just to celebrate 10 years of Skybound. So I'm like, man, can we look at this as not canon, just like the Rick Grimes 2000 comics? Like, I don't know. I want to look at it just like that. Like, it's just random. Like, it's just whatever. Like, you don't have to look at it as an actual like story moment. Because in that case, man, actually, what you're saying, Brian, is kind of true. Like, this wouldn't be canon.
Yeah, hey, Brian.
yeah,
Another thing I can't stand about this comic is the look of Clementine. She doesn't look like Clementine at all. She looks like a Japanese manga character.
yeah, AJ looks weird too. Like, the art style is not that good. I'm not saying it's gonna say it's trash, but this is Clementine, like not a minor character in the Walking Dead story. Like, bring Charlie Adler back. Like, come on, don't cheapen out on us. You know what I mean? Like, Dan, you mentioned how like I agree with you. The writers, the people in charge of Skybound, the CEOs, they literally probably thought, oh, wait, we still have to do that Clementine Lives comic. And they literally got some random person to write it and some random person to draw it and just went with it. It's like they didn't even put any effort into it.
I'm telling you, man, it's like they forgot like all about it. They're like, oh man, yeah, that release date's coming like soon. Like, it almost feels like this was like a project someone just randomly did in like, I don't know, like a day or two. They're like, yeah, well, I forgot about that. We got to draw 12 pages of this random comic. Yeah, we'll do that real quick.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, Epic?
I mentioned it to Walker Dead a little while ago that, like Jane from season 2 looked a certain way, but then season 3 she had a different character model. They did the same thing with Clem pretty much.
Exactly. It just doesn't make sense how you can consider. Okay, one thing, guys, you can tell that the writers literally are mediocre, or like, this, because they couldn't even explain why Clementine leaves. She doesn't even give a reason, and that's how you know it's bad, because like Clementine, the character, literally herself, does not have a reason why she's doing this, but she's just gonna do it. Like, that is forced.
It is.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Did you guys see my unboxing of World Beyond Season 1 on DVD?
Let me try to think. I think I remember seeing the video, but I remember seeing the thumbnail, but I don't think I might not have. I don't think I watched it. I don't remember. I'm sorry, Epic. But I think, yeah, I do remember you making it. It's just I don't know. Like, World Beyond. I will say this: World Beyond is better than this comic. I mean, it's crazy to say, but
finally, like, there is something that's actually like worse than World Beyond, and this one, feel free to agree or disagree. I have a feeling you guys will probably be a little mixed on this opinion, but for me personally, I have just found something that is worse than the Michonne game.
Oh yeah, this is worse because the Michonne game had some good things. Like, they actually were they actually introduced they actually introduced Sam's family instead of just like, oh, she has a family but we never see them. See, like, at least they're not like that game was not 100% lazy, But
No.
Here in this, we don't even see the other kids. Like, all they had to do was draw them.
Hey,
I know.
Brian.
Yeah.
Like, another thing that really makes me hate this Clem comic is the fact that this comic makes season 3 of the games tolerable.
Yeah, it's just the fact that when you look at season 4, the ending, like it's like yes, everything that we worked for has paid off, and then it's like no, it hasn't. Like not one bit. I mean, not one bit. Everything that all the seasons, all everything that Clementine went through was pointless.
Like yeah, and the fact the game's tolerable, yikes.
Yeah. I just like I said earlier, guys. I don't know why they couldn't have done this where they should have did the comic in like a volume where you just have like multiple different versions. You have one where like Lewis is alive, and one where Violet's alive. Well, like one where Clementine's dating Lewis, one with dating Violet, and then one where like you know what I mean, just different versions of the story in the volume, and like fans can kind of see what happens in their versions. And like I said, just the fact that they want to continue Clementine's story again, like this is in the comic universe, like it just doesn't make sense because like I it doesn't make sense because like Clementine is so far in the comic books. What is she gonna do? How is she gonna survive with one leg, mind you? And like what is she how is she going to eat, like all these things that the writers probably don't care about because she's like 10 years in the apocalypse or something, and it's like yeah, I just don't get it. And it's so bad too because the AJ is like you can die out there, and then you literally have a walker who attacks Clementine from behind, and AJ shoots it, and she's like oh I you know good shot or something like that. It's like you almost died right there, Clem.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is that it's and this is the other thing I've always kind of like mentioned too, is that it's like you literally like I know like you've just said it, like it's so many years in the apocalypse now. Plus, I really am like wondering. I'm just like, okay, so you're gonna do a novel, you're gonna do a Clementine novel, but it's like, okay, but her with one leg, how is that supposed to be presented? Like, I don't know. That is honestly the most complicated thing, and this is why, like I said, they should have just left her story in season 4 because honestly, with her leg being cut off, let's be honest, like you can't really do too much with her after that. Like, that's basically it.
Exactly, she's not a fighter anymore.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Another thing that I don't like is just how she treats AJ. Basically, the final season, AJ saves her life, freaking cuts her leg off, throws her in the wheelbarrow, throws Walker guts all over her, then drives her back to the school, and then at the end, Clem's just being so like rude to him and just getting rid of him. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, the fact that they have Clementine joining the uh you know like parents who leave their kids club. Like, I mean, are you serious? One of the best
You know,
characters in the franchise leaving their kid behind?
especially since AJ saved her life.
I know. Like, it's so bad. It's also so bad too because if you played as Clementine and you romanced either Lewis or Violet, it makes her look even worse too because she literally leaves behind her uh either boyfriend or girlfriend, you know what I mean, just without even saying goodbye. That makes her look so bad. I mean, you know what I mean, it's just ugh, that is just so bad.
Hey Brian, do you think this game or this comic like ruined Clem's character like The Last of Us 2 ruined Ellie?
I don't think Last of Us 2 ruined Ellie, but I will say that okay, I'm still going to consider Last of Us 2 canon. It's bad, but it's still canon. But with this comic, I'm not going to consider it canon because everything we worked for, like with Clementine, was it all led up to season 4, and it was planned to season 4. This is just fan fiction. This is bad fan fiction that someone did, honestly. And yeah, the writers, the people who are making millions off this, the CEOs, they say it's canon, but I'm not gonna believe them. They don't care about the story or the characters. They don't care. So why should I consider it canon?
You know,
Nah.
I definitely agree with that. Like, this comic isn't canon, and like all 3 seasons of the games were definitely leading season. If you
Agreed.
find season 4 of the game physically, like the box or something, it says on the back like something finished her story. So
this is the thing, right? Like honestly, this is kind of what I look at this. Like I almost look at this. This is the best comparison I can do for who the hell even wrote this crap. Like honestly, it's almost like if you took Ian and Andrew, who obviously, as we know, they had barely any experience with the early seasons of Fear, and you just throw them in, and they're just like, yeah, write a comic. Honestly, this is the kind of crap they would write because honestly, like you can already tell the person that wrote this, I don't know who the hell did this, but the person that wrote this comic, they obviously do not care about the game because if they did, they wouldn't write Clem's character like this. I'm sorry. Like, if you want a reason for her to leave her kid, which I don't know how you find a reason for her to do that, but anyway, it still just doesn't make any sense.
You're like, yeah, especially like she's been raising AJ since he was a baby.
Also,
Telling you,
yeah.
the whole story is just pointless now.
Also, like, seriously, what is it with The Walking Dead and taking parents out of the story to do their own spin-offs? I mean, they did it with Rick, they did it with Michonne, and now they're doing it with Clementine. Like, it's just... Are we supposed to assume that Clementine is... her goal is to never come back to AJ? You know what I mean? It's just... I just don't know. It's so bad.
Hey, Mega Man. I know you really freaking hated this comic, right?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Hey Matt, thanks for coming. By the way,
Yeah,
I just wanted to say a few things. I don't know if you were watching the whole time, but I was just mentioning how this comic. Well, one thing I'm not going to consider it canon because obviously the writers they don't care. They're greedy. All they want is money. But also, this comic makes Clementine look worse because it's not only AJ she's leaving behind. She's leaving behind whoever you romance in season 4. Like,
Yep.
that's just, like, how can you take a great character and make them despicable like this in the Walking Dead story? I mean, like,
I'm just gonna say this to be honest because I've already said this a million times over, but I am gonna mention it just because I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it. You guys know I personally actually like this comic, but man, honestly, the one thing I'm gonna say, I honestly think Negan Lives 2 should have happened instead of this. Honestly, I mean, they set it up like the way Negan was like, "Don't you want to see what happens next?" I'm sitting there, especially now. I'm like, Negan bud, yeah, I'd love to see what happens next. Be better than this.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
I just have to say that I saw your review of the Clementine Lives comic, and I agree 100% with a lot of your points. And the fact that this comic does ruin quite a few seasons of the games.
It does. Well, and this is the thing, like I've always said this too. Do I want to sit there and like enjoy this comic? Of course I do. But it's like when they give me crap like this that is badly drawn. And look, I'm not here to accuse no one. I'm just saying when I look at that comic, I'm like, this is not visually like appealing at all. And like the story's bad. It ain't in color, which there's another Skybound X comic that is in full color. So you're not telling me on that either. And it's like, the story doesn't make sense. It messes with the game. Honestly, there's too much wrong with this comic for me to say anything nice about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, man.
Do you think this comic messes or ruins some of the games?
It ruins all of it. It makes everything pointless. Like Clementine, her relationship with Lee now doesn't really matter because Lee wanted a good life for her, and she had that, but she threw it away. Like, that makes Lee's death pointless. It's just...
Yeah, exactly. Like, Lee in his final moments before he died and was, like, on his, like, last, like, breath was, like, wanted Clem to be strong, to be a good leader, or to become a leader, to protect those she loves, and that's what he wanted, and before he died,
Yeah, Chosen said Lee is supposed to embody... Clem is supposed to embody Lee, and Lee would never have abandoned Clem. No, especially for no reason. Yeah, that is so true. I just don't understand why they thought this was a good idea. Like, either... I think the writer said that she played the games, but I highly doubt that. I mean, if you play the games, it doesn't feel like Clementine one bit. It really doesn't.
Okay, the final season, we were all like saying how Lee would be proud, but now Lee would probably be very ashamed.
Honestly, I gotta ask this too. This one, it is related because it is kind of part of this like little celebration thing that Skybound has done. I'm just kind of curious. It's a question for everyone here. Have you guys read the Rick Grimes 2000 comic, the first issue?
I haven't, but I seen your review on it and it looks crazy.
Oh, it's really good.
It's honestly, guys, like all this like depression about how bad this comic is with Clem. Honestly, me and Matt and a few others, like we read through this and we were just like, okay, like wow, like it made up for it just because it's gory and you guys know, it's almost like a art style that you guys know. Like there's a comic out there from Kirkman I also really like, which is Invincible. It's literally that art style. It's also drawn by Charlie Adler. There's like full like color. And it's just fun. Like it's not, that one is in particular not canon, but it's a fun read.
Wait, Dan.
Hey, Brian.
Hold on, Epic. I wanted to ask something to Dan real quick. So wait a minute, Dan. They got Charlie Adler to, because Chosen asked me this, why couldn't they just get Charlie Adler to do Clementine Lives? They got Charlie Adler to do a sci-fi Rick, Invincible style comic, but not Clementine Lives. Like,
yep.
I'm sorry.
I think
that's so stupid. That is so stupid.
I think honestly, to answer your question, I have a feeling this is what it is that they're probably sitting there and they're probably looking at this comic, like this Rick comic, which if you haven't read it, like I won't spoil it, but it is just a fun read. Like it's a lot of fun and it's kind of like, it's just one of them goofy comics you can kind of have fun with some of your like favorite Walking Dead characters with. But honestly, I guarantee Charlie Adler was probably looking at this. He probably knew the story of the Clementine Lives comic, and he's probably like sitting there and he's like, I don't want to do that. That story's dumb.
Well, exactly. He sees the Rick comic. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with Rick. Who needs this crap Clem character? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sad. Clementine is a great character. And if they just actually, did a good job with the writing, and like Charlie Adler could have seen it and been like, yeah, this writing is pretty good. Like I don't understand why they felt the need. Okay, do you guys think they brought Clementine back just to appease the fans or to make money?
No,
like,
they did it for money and to sell graphic novels, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. They did it just for the money.
For money, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people. Yep. Here's the thing: at least half the audience wanted to see Clementine again in some form. But they didn't want her to leave the group and all that. And some people said, no, the ending was good to season 4. Don't touch it. Do you guys remember me calling this so long ago, too? Like a year ago, when we saw Clementine Lives at the end of Here's Negan. We were all like, okay, not all of us, sorry. I was constantly saying, they better not mess up Clementine and the endings that we created. And they did. They absolutely did. They did the one thing that I knew they were going to do. Ruin it.
Oh, and they messed it up bad too. It's not like a little mess up. Like they completely screwed it.
Hey Matt.
Yeah.
Would you agree that pretty much like everybody, like nobody likes the comic?
I haven't found a single person that likes it.
Yeah. The only thing I've seen is I think there was like one or two people in my comments that said they like it, which I'm like, we're all entitled to our opinions here, but definitely I have seen barely, like I said, like minus like one or two people, not a single soul that has actually enjoyed this comic.
I haven't found anyone. Like legit, I've gone out there and looked for people. Like, hey, does anyone like this comic? Because I kind of want to hear like your thoughts on it. I haven't found a single person. Everyone's just like, yeah, no, it's trash, dude.
I'm telling you, dude. There's there's like one or two people in my comments that actually said they like it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean that's fine. I guess what I'm saying is I want to know what they like about it, because honestly, when I look at this, honestly, I see this is crap on a piece of paper. That's what that is.
Oh, the art is garbage. The story's garbage. The characters are not that great. Like you guys know, this is just my opinion. I'm not a huge Clem fan in general, so already the Clementine Lives thing really wasn't like, super hyped for me. Like, I've always been more hyped for the Rick comic. And the fact that we're getting freaking Clem novels instead of some more Negan comics, I'm like, bro, what are they doing over there, bro?
Hey, Mega Matt.
Yeah.
I feel you're one of the few people on this planet that really isn't a fan of Clem because she's one of the biggest, most beloved characters in the franchise.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate her, but she just don't do it for me, really.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I don't think she's bad. That's not anything I'm saying. I definitely think this comic ain't making her seem too good right now, though. But honestly, like, I don't know. I've always preferred other leads like Rick or like characters like this. But honestly, she ain't bad. The thing about it is now, considering this comic and the fact that people are going out there and saying like, yeah, this is like canon, like, and this is what happens after the events of season 4. I'm like, okay, so that character is absolutely butchered now. That's just lovely.
Hey, Brian.
Yapik?
In my opinion, this comic fits perfectly in the same boat with the Survival Instinct, the novels, and the Michonne miniseries.
Yeah,
man, this is how
the
bad
worst
freaking comic is.
Yeah, actually, it apparently is. Fans, I have been seeing a lot of people's opinion, and this is they say this is the worst thing that The Walking Dead has done. Worse than the novels, worse than World Beyond, worse than the Michonne game, worse than season 3, like worse than Fear season 5. The people are saying it's the worst.
I agree. I honestly agree.
This is why it's worse. Think about this: you have 4 seasons of a game. And well, they're all pretty freaking decent seasons. And then you literally have 12 pages. 3 of those don't really even have dialogue on them. You literally have like 8 pages, bro. And they destroy 4 seasons of a story in 8 pages. Like, how do you do that?
I'm telling you, dude, out of a comic, the one time I can say the words about this comic, the words, it blew my mind, wasn't the comic, it wasn't the entertainment, it wasn't the great character development, it wasn't the art style, wasn't any of that. It was how fast they could honestly ruin 4 seasons of a game that takes hours and hours and hours of your time to complete within 12 pages. Are you kidding me? Like, that's a world record. I'm gonna be honest. That needs to be like honestly looked at as a world record. That is something I've never seen anything do.
Yeah, let's just award the writer, boys. Like, get the Guinness freaking World Records here.
So I mean, Guinness World Records 2021. Here you go.
Greg.
Yeah, it's easier to tear down things and destroy trust than build it. And that's what they're
in 8 pages, though.
I know.
Like, yeah, as bad as 2020 was, at least that year, we got Pierce Negan, whereas 2021 we get this piece of garbage.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing about it too. I know not everybody's a big fan of the Negan comic last year. You guys know me. I actually liked the Negan comic personally last year. I actually enjoyed it, but compared to this, oh my goodness, it looks like a masterpiece now.
Negan Lives already was a good comic in my opinion.
Agreed.
The fact that now Lori looks like the best mother compared to Clementine. I mean, just come on.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I don't know what they were thinking with this comic, but yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest with you.
For real, dude. Legit, this is the equivalent of like what the Clem comic is like. It's like in a random issue of the Walking Dead comics, like the main comics, Rick out of nowhere is just like, hey, you know what? I'm bored of you, Carl. I never want to see you again. And he just leaves them and just bails on his group and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Matt, imagine if in the beginning of season 9, Rick told Michonne that he was leaving at the very beginning. And he's just like, well, like, I thought I could be happy with you and Judith, but after Carl died, I'm just not. And imagine Rick, that's how Rick leaves the show. Like, instead
there would be outrage.
Exactly. Just like now. Like, but obviously, Rick, TV Rick has a much, I would say a bigger fan base than Clem, and obviously more people know the show than Clementine. But still, I mean, it's just that outrage is justified because it doesn't make sense. It ruins the character. And I mean, honestly, like I hope, like, part of me is like scared. Like, imagine if there was an alternate universe where that happened, because instead of Angela Kang, if they got what's her name, Tilly Walden.
Tilly
Oh my
Walden.
goodness, if they got her, I'm just saying she probably would have did that. Oh man, that would have been so bad.
I know.
Hey,
Ian and
Brian.
Andy are looking pretty good right about now.
I'm telling you, bro. Even they would probably have a bigger shot at doing a better story than this.
Yeah, for real.
You're like, hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I actually skipped this comic. I didn't buy it or look at it or read it.
Same. I didn't buy it, and I'm so glad. Thank God I didn't. Someone just uploaded on YouTube. I watched it to give it a chance, and oh boy, it was so bad.
Yeah, and that's actually what I did as well too. And honestly, I am not I mean, guys, like I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. I literally have almost all 93 issues of the Walking Dead comics first prints. But I'm sorry, even though that's true, and I've collected basically every comic. I mean, you guys know I go crazy on the Walking Dead comics, but it's like even that, I'm still not getting this. I don't care like how much I want to complete my collection. This is not something that I would be proud to own, like an actual physical copy.
I'd be embarrassed by that thing.
Just paying for this, like really?
And, like, if I'm being honest, this comic, it actually like, you know, like kind of deters me away from getting the Clementine graphic novel next year.
Oh, I'm not getting them either. I'm not getting them.
This is the thing is that I mean, unless there's an online read, then I'll probably end up just doing that. But this is the thing. Like, I do have to like obviously go through it. It is probably not going to be that good, but I mean, I don't know. I still kind of just I have to see it through. If the first one is like abysmal, then I'll start questioning things. But I at least have to see the first one.
You know, the fact that this is supposed to be like a teaser to those graphic novels, because at the end it says, you know, like you'll see her again 2022. Like that's a teaser, and it's this bad. You know, like God only knows how bad the graphic novels will be.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the graphic novels are terrible for the most part. I mean, there's a few that are okay. Like, I mean, they had the governor's story, like, and that kind of worked. But the Lily stuff was just so pointless and bad. Like, it was not.
I was talking about the Clementine novels next year, actually.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the novels are just The Walking Dead just can't do the novels. I don't know what it is, but I don't think The Walking Dead makes good novels. I really don't. The Governor one definitely needed some work. The Lily ones, those are even worse. They're trash. I mean,
Agreed. There's something about The Walking Dead and novels that I guess just don't mix. I guess.
oh, there's a barking dog somewhere. Wonder who it is.
That's my dog, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, it's just we don't get to see anyone. We don't get to see Rosie, Lewis, Violet, Willie, Ruby. We don't get to see any of the school characters. Like, did they have a budget for this comic? Like, did they seriously have to budget cut the other characters? I mean,
I think they did have a budget, considering how bad the freaking art style is. Just how like lazy and just lame the art style is.
yeah.
Man.
How can you have a budget issue? This is a comic. You know, you can make millions off of this, and you just have to put in a little bit of work in the story and the, you know, in the drawing. Like,
man, we all know Walking Dead's all about making money and doing all these spinoffs and doing all these advertisements and saying, "Oh, you got to go to the theater to see Rick Grimes, and you'll get all this. We'll make all this money, and we're gonna expand our franchise." And I'm like, man, you take a big character that has a big fan base. You have a chance to actually, which is apparently Walking Dead's always about making money. So I'm like, if you're about making money, then make a quality comic that will sell. And man, they can't even do that.
no, they can't.
Hey Dan,
What's up?
do you think Last of Us 2 like really butchered Ellie or ruined her character?
I don't. It butchered Joel. I mean, I don't think there's a question about that. It absolutely did. But Ellie, I don't love her as much as I did in the first game. But I don't know. I never had much of a problem with her personally. I just think that it kind of sucks because when Joel was killed, it's like they kind of didn't after that. Like they gave her minor storylines, but I don't know. I still like the character, to be honest.
You know, like, yeah, it really just baffles my mind that the Rick comic was actually better than the Clementine comic.
It is. Like
And it's
anyone that hasn't read the darn thing, honestly, do yourselves a favor. And again, keep in mind it's not canon, but if you just want to have fun and read a Walking Dead comic that's not canon and you know it's not, it's just a fun read. Honestly, I would honestly really recommend it.
honestly, it's more canon than this story. Like I made that joke already, but yeah,
I
like
know.
man, like that's just how bad Clementine lives. And like we can keep ranting, but I don't know. If you guys want to talk about some other stuff like, you know, the movies and all that, I'll be perfectly fine with that.
Hey,
Sure.
Brian.
Yapik?
So, when do you see the movies releasing, and do you think they'll be good?
I really don't know, man. The whole restrictions in the UK with the whole COVID pandemic thing, it's not getting better. I don't understand. I thought it was because the actress for Yumiko, like, and like she got to come back for filming, but like, why can't Andrew Lincoln? Like, I don't know what's going on with that.
If you don't know, Andrew Lincoln's actually not even in the UK anymore. He's in Canada filming a Netflix original horror movie.
He is. He's
No
it's not
way.
a Walking Dead like a Walking Dead movie or anything like that. Well, the Walking Dead movie is still going to be filmed in the US, but this is his second movie that he's doing. He's up in Canada right now and he's filming, like Matt said, a Netflix original, which just tells us that he's going to be busy for a good while. So
Yeah,
these movies, like, no chance.
There's no filming. Probably. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. We'd be lucky to even get any filming news this year.
Dude,
Yep.
that is
So
unbelievable.
technically, Andrew Lincoln, he really is like done with The Walking Dead right now.
Oh, no, it's Gimple, dude.
It's Gimple because he's writing like a darn snail and he won't finish this first movie and it's been almost 3 years, man. Like, come on.
I don't understand why the script is taking so long. I mean, I know it has to be good, but we know we have an idea why Rick cannot come back. And you could just say simply that the CRM, they don't know about the communities. If they knew where Jadis took Rick from, they would wipe them out. You know what I mean? So like they could have that constantly be in Rick's head that he cannot technically leave because they'll find or they'll come after him and he doesn't want to bring the CRM to his home. So like that's how you can do the movie. You know what I mean? Just that like that's already there. It explains why he hasn't been back all this time.
I actually agree. You could literally do it in a way where it's like Rick is there, he's held captive, and then like maybe he even notices, like, because obviously I'm thinking he's going to be forced to like obviously join and most likely be a soldier. So what I'm thinking is like, what if he's forced to go on these trips with them and forced to do all this stuff? Maybe even he witnesses them take out a group, even like a settlement or something. And he's just like, well, darn, like I can't escape because obviously like they're going to find me. Like it's a pretty big system they got going here. And even if I make it back home, they're going to find me. And it's like, okay, so at that point, I don't want to like put my family's life in danger. So I can't leave. I'm stuck, you know, like it is, even that is kind of like out there. But honestly, I'm going to be honest. That's one of the only things they can do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they definitely need to have a good cast. Like I'm talking about like everything is like in the movie, like Rick obviously probably doesn't know who to trust because in the movie, Rick should constantly be talking to people and you got to be careful what you say, how you act, all this stuff. Like it's kind of like Rick is walking on eggshells in the movie because the CRM is not this minor thing. No, it's a massive thing. You know, you're always watched. You know, there's always, you know, somewhere to be. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. And like, I don't. So yeah, like that's personally what I think. And as far as like the first movie, I don't know what kind of antagonist you can have because like there's no one more powerful than the CRM. So I guess that's a bit of an issue, but still, the movie should not be taking this long. I just don't. Yeah, Pick.
Like, regardless whether or not the movies are bad or good, I mean, there probably will still be errors or flaws with it.
Oh yeah, I mean there are still going to be flaws, but here's the thing, if there's no COVID restrictions, because that's a big thing, and if they actually put a decent budget in the movie, they actually give us CRM and a good reason why Rick is not back all this time, then I think that it could do pretty well. But the problem is we have seen how The Walking Dead cuts corners with budget. Unfortunately, we have seen that, and if they do it for the movie, it's gonna suck. Like I'm just saying.
Well, this is the problem. Like, honestly, this is the thing I keep saying. And honestly, this is the thing I got to call them out on all the time because I'm sorry. It's just a simple fact. Literally, these movies, like, I don't know if you guys have heard. I think I've said this before. The main Walking Dead show, final season, which is filming right now, as we know, literally is allowed to do zombie herds, like zombie herds, big groups of zombies. So I'm like, if you can do that, and like, there's all these big budget movies and all these big, things filming right now. Then I'm like, okay, so, but then you can tell me that like Andrew Lincoln's all the way in Canada filming other like movies. It's like the fact they're still using COVID as a excuse, I'm going to say, for why they can't film this. I'm sorry. It's narrowed down to it's an excuse for them to draw it out more and for Gimple to make up his mind on what on earth he's even going to end up doing with this thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
So, are you excited the fact that we're getting the season 10 DVD in 2 weeks?
I am. I'm very excited to get that. And the other thing about that is that we've been waiting like 2 years for this thing because we didn't get it last year. So yeah, should be good.
Hey, do you guys? Man, we should be expecting the trailer for season 11 soon. Like I don't know. It's kind of crazy that we're literally gonna get like a trailer like just a month before the season comes out. Because has that ever happened before? Where like we get the trailer and like a little bit later, then we get the episodes.
I don't think so. I think the most I ever got for that is like maybe Fear the Walking Dead season 5 or something, like 5B of Fear the Walking Dead. I remember that was like 2 weeks before the season started, which is like, wow, it's not like we were hyped anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, Epic.
So overall, how do you feel about their promotion for the final season and the way they've been handling it?
I think they're doing the promotion very well, and all that, but they got to give us the trailer. It's got to be great, amazing. I don't know. The trailer has a whole lot of Reaper stuff, and I'm still thinking, I'm like, okay, like, I don't know, like, you think they're gonna advertise them as the big threat in the season?
I do. I think the season will probably end up being like this is what I'm kind of expecting for the trailer. Personally, I'm thinking we're going to see like some fighting with the Reapers. We may see in the trailer like some Alexandria stuff. Maybe we even see some minor scenes of it getting attacked by like some Reapers. I think we'll see Pope in the trailer. If anything, we'll see Pope fighting like someone like Negan, or they'll do Daryl again. Daryl will be fighting the main leader again, but they'll have that. And then I think they're going to have, this is just my opinion, this one's out there, so hear me out. I think we're going to see the leader of the Commonwealth in the trailer. I think we're going to see that like classic scene where you see the two soldiers and stuff. It'll kind of be like in the shadows. You'll have the four, Yumiko, Eugene, Ezekiel, and Princess, kind of being like tied up. They're on their way there to go meet the leader. And I think we're going to reveal in the trailer that the leader's a male character.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I can see that. Sorry, I can see that happening. Like, obviously, I don't think they're gonna show or hint at any deaths in the trailer, but I mean, honestly, I really feel like it's Gabriel's time to go in the show. I think he is definitely going to die in season 11.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, this is one thing I've heard about the trailer is that, and keep in mind, they said this about other seasons that had amazing trailers, but people that have seen the trailer are like, it's pretty good. I'm like, pretty good. This is the last season. Like, if we don't get a good trailer, that's going to be like a big bummer.
I know.
It's kind of sad that after this trailer, there's like going to be like no more.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's going to be the Daryl Carroll show. If anyone's going to watch that.
honestly, I do think this is just my prediction because keep in mind, guys, this is how it's mapped out. We've got the first half of season 11, which is going to be like starting in August. We're going to get the season 11B in February, and that's going to basically like play out all the way through early next year. And then I think this is what they're going to do. I do think we're going to get one last Comic-Con with a trailer, and I think it's going to be the trailer for 11C, and they're going to advertise it as like Comic-Con trailer for the final episodes. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Do you have any faith or hope for the Daryl and Carol show?
If I can be honest with you guys, 100% honest, no lies, I don't. I really don't. I don't see why it needs to happen. And also, the thing is, if Daryl and Carol are going to leave and to have their own story, then Daryl and Carol and them, they can't eventually be in the movies with Rick and take down the CRM. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least I don't see that happening. Unless it's only like a few seasons kind of thing.
I mean, maybe in the Daryl and Carol show, the plot is that Daryl and Carol are like on their way to look for Rick.
This is the thing, though, about the Daryl and Carol spinoff. I hate to say it, but somebody does. Honestly, this is AMC. They love Norman. We all know that. They all love Norman Reedus. Anything he says, they almost basically do. That'd be the writers or AMC. They're probably sitting there and they're like, no, I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if this was the case. Like, what if like it's just like, yeah, we got Rye with Norman Reedus. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Oh, and then Norman Reedus one day is just sitting there. He's like, you know what? The Walking Dead's ending, but you know what, guys? Like, we could do a spinoff. I could be riding my motorcycle. We can have like guests on from the main show, but I can be in character this time. Ooh, like honestly, that's what I swear that's what they're doing. Like, it's just Norman getting a chance to ride his bike around even more, and we're just gonna like run into random survivors. So by that, honestly, that's my way of saying I think that show is gonna flop.
I agree, Dan, because here's the thing. All three Walking Dead shows, they said it was building up to the Rick movies, the CRM, but the Daryl and Carol show, that's not going to build up to anything. You know, I don't think they might be looking for Leah, but that's just one theory. And as far as like looking for Rick, we know that Rick's not going to be in the show because they said Rick's going to be in the movies, you know? So it's already pointless. And also, I still don't understand why I still don't understand why Daryl would leave the group. Like, why in the world would he leave Judith, like, you know, and Maggie, people he cares about? Like, I don't see the reason at the moment. You know what I mean? It's like the Clementine thing again, but obviously we saw how bad it was, but like, I don't want that for the final episode of The Walking Dead. Like, I don't want Daryl just telling Judith that, like, I need to leave, I'm not happy, I need to go out there. Like, if that happens, The Walking Dead is going to have the worst ending ever. Like,
wait, if that happens, you think that ending would rival Game of Thrones ending?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If Daryl leaves and says that's the reason he's leaving, that he can't be happy here, like, you know, with Judith and just like his friends, just he needs to be out there doing his own thing. Yeah, that's going to be just as bad as Game of Thrones.
This is kind of what I'm thinking about it. Just personally, this is kind of like how I look at it. I don't even think you're that far off, to be honest. This is what I'm thinking personally. I think the show is going to end. It's going to be something similar to issue 193, where we kind of see like everything is doing pretty well. Obviously, the time skip thing may not happen. All I'm saying, though, is that I could definitely see it to where the community and like the survivors are living well enough, and they've got like a good enough system going on to where maybe Daryl and Carol almost are sitting there like, it's like, well, I mean, they don't need us anymore. Like, you know, we'll stop back like every once in a while, but let's just go out there. Let's just see what the world is. Let's go to New Mexico. I mean, like, screw it. Like, everything's fine. I mean, everything's been defeated and all that stuff. Let's just go out. Like, honestly, that's kind of what I'm thinking, to be honest.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
When do you see the Negan spinoff getting announced or happening?
Some point after the main show.
Yeah, I see the show being close to ending, and then they're gonna announce the Negan spinoff. And did you guys see the new promos and stuff? Like, you just have Maggie always next to Negan, or like I think like in certain shots she's giving Negan the stink eye, and I'm like, Maggie, either kill the guy or stop with the stink eye. Okay, you gotta make a choice. Okay, because I
Yeah,
mean,
hey Brian,
yeah.
I just wanted to mention, one of the photos where you have the group on the road, Negan's like in the front, Maggie's like off to the side.
Yeah.
Apparently on Twitter, I've seen a lot of people complaining about Negan being in front and Maggie being off to the side, and saying that Maggie should throw Negan off to the side and give him to the walkers or something.
I mean, here's the thing. You guys know a part of me will always still resent Negan for what he did, but Negan is one of the group members, and Maggie has been gone for years doing Lord knows what with Georgie. So, if anything, Maggie has very much lost her place in the group, or very close to losing her place, and Negan kind of gained his place in the group.
This
So,
is always what I say about this whole thing with Negan. Negan took away a threat from the group. He took one away. He actually helped the group, and he took out Alpha. He did what Carol didn't, and he actually ended the war for them. Meanwhile, Maggie comes back and she brings a threat to the community, which it's like, this is the thing. Anything that happens in season 11, if the Reapers kill someone or if the Reapers end up hurting someone, I'm sorry, feel free to agree or disagree. But honestly, any Reapers that kill anybody, I'm going to be like, well, Maggie, that probably wouldn't have happened if you did, like, if you brought them back to the community.
I said the exact same thing to a person on Twitter, and he actually just gave me attitude and complained at me and saying, "Okay, Josh Beatty" or something. He was like getting all mad at me for defending Negan.
Honestly, I mean, you guys know this. I love Negan's character. I think if anything, season 10 has been like one of the best times for that character. Plus, he's also he's I'm sorry, he's done a lot. We've seen a lot of that character. I have no reason to sit here and say that him helping out the group fight the Reapers isn't like enough for me to view him as one of the core members. I honestly think the people that still think that Maggie should kill Negan, I'm like, she had her chance. Honestly, how many times did she have a chance to do that?
I mean, she did have that massive chance in season 9. I mean, yeah, and Ken's kind of mentioning how Ken thinks that we defend Negan too much. I don't defend him. I'm just trying to point out the obvious and the facts. Negan has been with the group longer than Maggie at this point. So, it kind of, I still am mad at Negan for what he did. But then again, it's like, Maggie, you kind of don't have a say in this. You kind of don't, because you were gone for years. You brought in more people from who knows where when the group already has limited food supplies, and then you bring a threat too. Like, it doesn't look good on Maggie. It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Maggie brought a new threat to Alexandria's doors, whereas Negan kind of like got rid of the Whisperers in a way.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Do you guys? I'm trying to think about this. So we know the first half. The first half is going to be, or the first third is going to be Reapers and stuff, and then Eugene and them just meeting the Commonwealth first, and then second half. 11B is going to be fully meeting the Commonwealth, and maybe just finishing off the last Reapers like in a few episodes. But then, what's going to happen in 11C? Like, I don't see what they can do for those other 8 episodes.
I think, well, okay, the Reapers are going to be the main focus. I'm thinking of 11A mixed with some Commonwealth stuff. I think Reapers will die probably somewhere in 11B. And then we're going to see it go really into the Commonwealth storyline in 11B. And then 11C, probably like the rest of the Commonwealth, whatever we've got left. And if they want to, if there's a right place at the right time in the story, they could and this is out there, I know, but they could include CRM in 11C.
Oh, I hope they do. It's just, I don't know. I don't think they're going to, but they got to give us something with the CRM, because that's just a plot hole in the show that never has gotten addressed. I mean, we get more CRM in Fear and World Beyond than the main show. and they took Rick, the main character. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Brian.
Yeah.
Like, in a way, another reason why Negan has kind of earned his place in the group is the fact that he got like own episode, and here's Negan. Maggie didn't get her own episode.
Oh yeah, Maggie would have, if she stayed. Just saying.
But yeah, Negan, he got here's Negan, so
Yeah.
which that episode is still amazing.
I mean, it is good, but I think it definitely could have been better in some areas. You can tell that, the COVID restrictions really limited the episode, and just the whole, I don't know, the fact that they couldn't get Dwight in and they used Laura instead, that still feels off to me a little bit. Like Laura, I don't know. Oh guys, not big news, but yeah, Gage is alive.
I heard.
How? Oh, I'm losing my mind. How did Gage survive the Whispers attacking in season 10? How did he survive that night? Like,
So
how do you?
you're telling me that freaking jerk a-hole kid who like beat up Enid, he's still alive somehow?
Oh, not Enid, Lydia.
Oh yeah, Lydia. Like he's still alive somehow?
Yeah, the show, he has been missing for like a whole year. Like, he was missing for like how many episodes? Like, I don't know, like 16 episodes. And then now he's like coming back in season 11. I'm just like, no, you can't do this. We all thought he would, or at least I did. It's like, we thought he was dead. Keep him dead. Like, it's just,
That is really unrealistic.
oh, I totally agree. It's just, it's like, we already are getting so few characters. We have so many characters in season 11. We don't need them to bring back Gage. And like, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, Gage, he wasn't even liked by anyone. He was like very disliked by everyone.
this could have been the one good thing that Beta did before he died. The one thing.
Agreed.
Kill him off screen. And it's like, no, he didn't do that either.
Yeah, I don't know why they're bringing him back.
I have no idea, man. Unless they give him
It's like-
some amazing story, which I doubt.
It's kind of the same thing with them bringing back Virgil. Like, why?
Oh, I have no idea, man. I don't know why they would bring back Virgil. I don't like him. He's not a good character.
At least he saved Connie, I guess. That's the only thing I like him for.
Okay, I mean, I think, yeah, I kind of agree, King, or Ken. I think that he is kind of gonna save Connie, but his face did not show, like he cared, or he was shocked to see someone injured, that he was gonna help her. His face was more like how, he looked at Michonne, that he was gonna do something with her, and I just don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, he's not gonna save her out of the kindness of his heart.
So, like, yeah, Gage, Virgil, both those characters can go die, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and I still don't understand. There's a lot of new characters in season 11. In the trailers, we see a guy with an eye patch. We see this like behind Daryl when they're in the subway. We see like this black guy with a beard. Does anyone know who those characters are? Because like I don't recognize them. Are they part of Maggie's group? Because
I do know there was a photo of Daryl sitting on a bench with dog, at his like lap, and that guy with the eye patch next to him.
People were saying that was Negan. Like, what? The dude with the gray hair and stuff? He looks like Negan, but
That's not Negan.
I don't know that, but a lot of people are saying that's an old man Negan. Like, that makes no sense. He grew gray hair in like a month.
Brian. Hey, Brian, that's not Negan.
yeah, it's not Negan because Negan has two eyes. Negan's not super old with gray hair. And then also Daryl is right next to him. So shouldn't Daryl have gray hair too?
You're like yeah, and also a dog is with Daryl as well. So
Exactly. Like, is Dog like 20 years old? I don't
no,
know.
dog was the same as in season 10C.
No, I was making a joke. If that is Negan, then Dog would have to be 20 years old.
Mm.
Uh,
But I mean, I am glad to see Dog being alive. So
oh yeah, me too. I know that they're hinting that something happens to Dog, but he's not gonna die. No way. Um, I'm trying to think. Can you guys think of any reason why Daryl and Carol would leave? I'm just saying, like, do you guys really think The Walking Dead, the final scene, is going
To
to be?
find Rick, probably.
Um, I mean, maybe, but they have to explain how would they know Rick is even still alive, and like where would they look, and then also, here's the thing: Rick is only going to be in the movies, so he's not going to be in the Carol and Daryl show. So it's kind of pointless, isn't it?
and also like if Daryl and Carol leave, then Daryl he has to take Dog too, right?
I mean, he kind of should, because that's his character, but he might leave Dog with Judith or something. And speaking of Judith, I just gotta be honest. Um, I don't know if they're gonna do the time skip, but my goodness, if Michonne or Rick doesn't come back, if they do like the big time skip in The Walking Dead, and Rick is still not back, Michonne is still not back. You know what I mean? Like, you guys remember how in the comic they did that 20-year time skip?
Yeah.
I mean, are they gonna do that in the show? Do you guys think they're gonna do that in the show?
Mm-hmm.
If they do, they better not like mess up Judith's age like they did with Carl.
Oh yeah, they would have to recast her. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, um, Daryl leaving the walking when Daryl leaves. And Negan too. They can't have Judith. I don't know. I don't realistically, if I was doing it and writing it, Judith cannot just accept that Daryl is leaving too. Like, Michonne left to go find Rick, and now you have Daryl and Carol going too, and then Negan is just like, well, I'm going off on my own for some reason, and it's like everyone that Judith has had a connection with is just leaving her. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Judith has to, um, she has to be real. Like, if you were her, would you be upset that all these people in your life are leaving you? I mean, I'm just saying, like, hypothetically. I know they want Judith to be like this strong character, but no. I mean, this is a little girl who is being abandoned like many times over. I know it sounds harsh, but it's true. I mean,
You're like,
Clem did it to AJ.
yeah, exactly.
like as strong as they want Judith to be, she's still human at the end of the day.
Exactly. Like, Judith is she gonna um Angela Kang said something like that it takes a village to raise a kid. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, yeah, well, there's not much of a village left. Everyone that Judith has ever cared about has left her or died or is leaving her. And like, is she gonna have? She's honestly just gonna have to raise herself and RJ, just by herself, because that's how it's. It kind of feels like that's what they're setting up for. Because like, if Rick is not going to be back in the main show as well as Michonne, and then Daryl Carol leave, like Negan too, it's kind of like that. It's like, okay, yeah, like literally, everyone that Judith kind of cared about is gone, and then you're just gonna have Daryl and Carol in their show. Um, I don't know. I mean, like, are they gonna have Judith in the movies, or do you guys think that they're never gonna do that? Like Rosita, Maggie, Judith, their last appearance will be the final episode of season 11. Do you guys think that?
Me personally, I feel Judith should make appearance in the Rick movies simply because she's a Grimes, legacy character, pretty much.
Yeah, I totally agree, but I just don't know how they're gonna do it because
I think, like, if they do the time jump, Michonne and Rick should just be there to get everyone excited. Like, cause they probably both want to come back, and they're not girls not doing anything. I don't think. Neither is Rick, so they could just appear, and then
You know, like me personally, she really should be in the movies because, like that's she's connected to Rick, she's connected to Shane, she's connected to Lori, and yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. But the thing is, guys, if
Judith, I think, has been there longer than Michonne. Like, kind of, she's been there longer than Michonne.
wait, what do you mean? Oh, right, as a character. Yeah, kind of. I mean, she was a baby though for most of the show. Um,
Yeah.
I just don't know because like I still don't see why they're doing this Carol and Daryl show. Because if anything, I feel like the perfect thing for them to do is end all three Walking Dead shows, do the first movie, then second movie, third movie, and you just have all the characters in the Walking Dead at some point be in the movies.
What
You know,
year? What year do y'all think The Walking Dead, like everything with The Walking Dead, will be over? At least
oh,
the
I
show.
don't know. I don't know, man. It could be 2030, and
No,
it's
that's
just
way too long. All the actors would probably be like dying.
I
Hey
know,
Brian,
but you know how AMC is. Yeah, Epic,
hey Brian,
huh?
like me personally, I feel that Judith is probably one of the best characters in the franchise, and they really shouldn't like just get rid of her or kill her off, or because she really is like a Grimes legacy character. She's been there since season 3.
If they killed Judith off, I give up on the entire franchise, like in an instant.
Yeah. Um, I just here's the thing: they can't do the big time skip, and at the in the last episode, they can't do the big time skip like they did in the comics because if we see an older Judith, then we're gonna want to know: okay, is Rick back? Is Michonne back? You know what I mean, like, are they gonna have
They
like an
said that they should just do the Rick, like whatever they were gonna do in the Rick Grimes movie, just put it in the show and just extend the season even longer, or just something like that. I don't even care about the movies. Just whatever you're gonna do in the movies, just do it in the like show. If it's gonna
yeah?
take that long.
I can't believe the movies are taking this long. I mean, there's not really any COVID restrictions. There haven't been any, I don't think, in the UK for a while. And Dan told me
Like
that.
COVID it's not really a thing anymore. It's kind of coming to an end slowly.
Well,
Yeah.
there's like another virus called Delta, I think, but it's not even that bad. It's like not even in the US, I don't think.
Oh my goodness. If
But
they start, yeah, they better not start with this whole new virus thing.
if
Like,
another virus comes and then everything starts back over, I'm just gonna give up on this planet and just say peace out because
oh yeah,
that's ridiculous.
oh yeah, just give up on humanity. Be like, I'm done. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like, I'm losing my sanity. Um, yeah, I don't know how they're gonna end. They said that Rick. Oh, hold on. Walker Dead said, "Hey Brian, the new Clementine is trash, garbage, and really retcons the Walking Dead's Telltale's Walking Dead final season." Absolutely, Walker Dead. It absolutely does, and that's why I don't consider it canon because it's just so bad. There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a comic. It was $5, and it's like a teaser, written.
Hey guys, I had a question. Do you guys think that The Walking Dead is do you guys think that by the end of the show all the characters are going to be at the Commonwealth? Um Alexandra is still going to be abandoned, and I don't know,
Yeah.
like, because I can't see them fixing Alexandria. They do it in the comics, but because they did that because they had the big time skip. Like, they fixed Hilltop, they fixed Alexandria, but I don't think they're going to do that on the show because it seemed,
Me
yeah.
personally, I don't think they're going to abandon Alexandria simply because that's like the OG community. It's the one that started this whole journey, and it's so iconic. Been there since season 5, and it was there before Hilltop, the Kingdom. So just like the OG big community. So I think they are going to keep Alexandria.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Do you guys know in real life how they can't actually have Alexandria anymore? There's issues with the neighborhood. Like they have to give it back. They have to give it up again, or like give it away for good. I think I heard that. So um, I don't know. It's very possible. I agree, Epic. It is iconic, but I think I heard it said that like I don't know, maybe contracts are expiring and eventually like yeah, they got to stop filming there.
That's crazy. People actually live there. I wonder if some of the background characters actually live there.
Maybe that would explain why we see them all the time. They just sneak on set.
Like if someone asked me, like, do you want to sit on the ground looking dead for $100? I'll be like, sure, whatever.
I know, but then you just have fans like us who are like, okay, who is that character? What happened to that character when Beta attacked Alexandra? You know, like, oh, it's funny. Yeah, so I don't honestly I don't think they're gonna return to Alexandria. I think they might hint at it, like in the comics, but I feel like they're bringing all the characters to the Commonwealth. I mean, at least that's my personal opinion. Because in the comic book, nothing happened at Alexandria when Rick's group found the Commonwealth. Like Alexandria was just done for the most part, and it looks like the Reapers are going to do some damage. So I really don't know. Also, it's pretty clear, guys, that they're getting rid of the communities. I mean, they got rid of Hilltop, the Kingdom. Alexandria is close to being gone forever. I mean, also Oceanside. I mean, Oceanside's gone too, I think. I don't know, I'm just assuming, but it seems like they're getting rid of the communities. Oh, they got rid of the Sanctuary too. Forgot to mention that. Like, they never did that in the comics. You know?
Me personally, I think the reason they did that is because, AMC, and mainly for the budget, probably.
I know, but they're really saving on the budget. So, what?
I just have to say, like, in a way, dude, guys, he's kind of right. AMC, they are a very cheap corporation. Like,
oh
The
yeah,
Walking
the
Dead
cheapest.
made them so much money, and yet they don't give the show a proper budget or spend money on the show whatsoever.
Yeah, they greenlight and spend millions of dollars for these other spin-off shows that not really everyone is asking for. I mean, Dead in the Water. Do they really have to bring back those characters, that submarine? Like, there's no point. You're just gonna waste money.
So dude, guys, he's an awesome YouTuber, but he is right. AMC is cheap as hell, and they don't like to spend money on The Walking Dead, and that's why season 8 ended with Negan and Rick running around a tree, because AMC didn't want to spend money on a freaking action-packed, crazy finale. So
yeah, do you guys think that? I'm just guessing here, but I feel like they're gonna have Daryl leaving on his bike. I mean, like, I don't understand.
Me personally, Brian, I find it really unrealistic how Daryl still has that bike.
Oh, I do too. He doesn't have gas for it. He doesn't. The Sanctuary stopped making that oil like years ago. How does Daryl still have gas? There's just no explanation. Like, at least in season 9, it was like, okay, yeah, Daryl's not using a horse like everyone else because, one, he's a rebel. He can't change ever. But also, it's like, oh yeah, the Sanctuary is making oil. Like, they mentioned that. Maggie's like, we want their oil too. When she was making a deal with Michonne. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I can get behind that. But now you have everyone. You have characters who they literally don't even have horses anymore. They're literally just walking and taking crappy bikes to the Commonwealth. That's how bad it's gotten. Like, and you still have Daryl, who still has gas somehow. Like, it's just, man.
What even happened to all the horses? What happened to all the horses? That's weird.
I mean, we know that some of them died from the mines. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. The group Eugene and them, it's funny. I think in the comics they still had their horses, but in the show they killed off all 3 horses. With the mines, with a walker, just a random walker, and it's like, man, the show really hates horses because in the comic, I don't think they died.
Well, even back in season 9, the Hilltop had horses. The Kingdom had lots of horses. Alexandria had lots of horses, and now they're just all gone.
Yeah, that's probably the show trying to save budget. Like, I guess in every attack that happened, they lost all their horses. Like, man, it's just absolutely crazy that this is what Alexandria and all the communities have become. Like, you guys remember how in season 9, there were people, they were alive, they were all working together, they were strong communities, and now look at the communities. I mean, this is the weakest our group has ever been. Like, our group, literally, they're down to 1 community, and they're barely surviving. Like, think back how they were in season 9, and now it's like this. Like, it's just, oh man.
That really shows just how strong the Whisperers were in the show, because look at all the damage they caused.
I think it shows how much they needed Rick, honestly. But yeah, that's kind of true too.
Technically, they lost the kingdom because of the Whisperers, right?
No, I think they said the kingdom was falling in disrepair, but it's like they could have still kept it going. Like, they could have done better to keep it together. You know what I mean? Like, they couldn't get somebody to fix those pipes or whatever. They didn't have one person to. I don't know. Cause they really relied on Henry, cause that's not a smart idea. I don't know. But then, okay, for Oceanside, there is no excuse. What happened to Oceanside? We never see Oceanside.
Yeah, Oceanside kind of just vanished off the face of the earth.
Yeah, and the Sanctuary, it just fell off screen. We never even got an answer what happened to it. It just fell off screen, and during the time skip, and then the Hilltop, we knew that they lost Hilltop, but even in the comics, they went back to it and fixed it, and it's just like, wow, it's just, they're not gonna do that in the show. It's just, I really feel like, the Hilltop's gone forever. You know what I mean? I really feel like they're not going to...
Hilltop, it wasn't completely burned to the ground. I mean, the Barrington house was still standing.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying in general that I don't think... here's how I see it. Epic, do you think that AMC will actually pay money to have the actors go back to that location with the Commonwealth right now and film them rebuilding those communities? Because in the comic they did it because you can just draw it, but in the show, can you actually see them doing that?
I'd like them to, because I did like Hilltop a lot. It was a cool location in my opinion.
Yeah, not great people though. Not great people.
Well, that's kind of the same thing with Alexandria. It was an amazing community and didn't have good people in it either.
We need a spin-off of The Walking Dead, but in another country.
No more spin-offs, please. I can't take anymore.
So you think they're milking the franchise too much?
Huh?
You think they're milking the franchise too much?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what they did with this Clementine comic. They did it because they wanted to milk the character more. And we saw just how terrible it was. By the way, guys, 6 more minutes and I have to end the stream.
Hey, what's your next stream?
I think I'm gonna talk about either I'm gonna go back and redo a stream from an episode, maybe do a remastered stream. So it'll be 67 or something like that, but just a new version. Or I'll talk about A World Gone Mad, Dan's series that he did, how his season 2 is going. I might talk with him about
Hey,
that.
Brian.
Yeah.
Or maybe next stream you could review Fear the Walking Dead season 3 episode 2.
Yeah, because you need to do more fear ones. We never do fear.
That episode.
I might do more fear, but we're close to the 100 now, so I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll try to figure it out, and yeah, I'll keep that in mind, guys. So thanks. The stream's ending in a few minutes. Do you guys want to talk about anything? Do you guys have any last questions you want to get out of the way?
Hey Brian, do you agree with me that this Clem comic making season 3 of the game tolerable makes this season 3 of the game look good is actually bad?
Yes. The fact that it makes one of the worst seasons look good, that's not good. It should never do that. You know what I mean? Walking Dead should always be fantastic. Because we are a loyal fan base, we pay money, we devote our time, and all the writers have to do is, all the guys, they have to give us a decent budget and stuff, and they have to not do horrible writing, make the characters terrible, and they did that with the comic. They messed up Clementine, they cheapened out not getting Charlie Adler. I mean, they did horrible.
Yeah, I agree. Like the fact that this comic makes season 3 of the game look like good is very bad.
Yeah. Epic, are you gonna watch the Daryl and Carol show? Because honestly, I'm not going to. I don't see a reason why it needs to exist, and they're already milking The Walking Dead so much. Like, I know the main show is ending, but but they're still doing the movies and like other spin-offs like Tales and the Negan spin-off. So we're gonna get even more Walking Dead after the main show ends, and I just can't keep up with it. I just can't.
Me personally, I definitely agree. The Daryl and Carol spin-off, I might check it out just to see if it's good or not, but they are definitely milking it too much. I agree with that.
You know what I want to see? Like, after the main show ends, after Fear ends, World Beyond, you just have, the Rick movie, and then the second Rick movie with Michonne, and then you just have like a third movie where we have Daryl, Carol, Maggie, all these characters from The Walking Dead, Alicia, Morgan, all of these characters coming together in, the third movie. And they're literally all like, we're going to fight the CRM because they have attacked us in, our communities, our stories, you know what I mean? And you just have it where Rick is helping lead this rebellion against the CRM and, in their city. And you just have this final movie, this final battle at the CRM. And, lots of walkers, destruction, fighting the living. And it's just this massive, great budget action movie kind of thing. And you just have a great end to The Walking Dead. You have the characters surviving, from at least the main best characters from the show surviving. And Rick has now helped create a new world for the groups, a new community. Like, they're going to rebuild the CRM, but they're going to be much better than the old one. Like, that's what I want to see. But I just don't know how likely that is.
So you want them to go like how the Avengers Endgame did it?
Yeah, they promised that's how it was going to be. But the movies are taking way too long, and Fear, they're milking it way too much and not giving us any CRM stuff. Season 7 should be the last season, but it's not going to be. And it's just like...
Fear it's going to go past the main show.
Yeah, I know. I don't want it to. I feel like Fear should end around the same time as the main show. I really think so too. And would you like that, Epic? Would you like to see Morgan, Alicia, the World Beyond characters, main show characters like Daryl? They're all in the third movie, and they're fighting with Rick against the CRM, against the walkers that have broken in, and you just have this massive massive battle the size of a city, and and that's how the story goes. Like, would you like to see that? Because honestly, I would. That would be amazing.
Yeah, of course I would like to see that. That would be incredible.
Yeah, that would blow my mind away. You just have like lots of walkers from you have like fresh walkers from the CRM research facility. You have old walkers like nasty looking. You just have CRM civilians and soldiers that have turned as well, and you just have Rick and them fighting off walkers against soldiers, and it's just this massive battle where you have the characters in their own separate parts in the city doing their own thing. I mean, it would just be amazing.
Yeah, it would be amazing. Like it would definitely be a lot better than AMC doing all these, worthless, useless little spin-offs that they're doing.
I know, man. I totally agree. And thank you
You know,
so
like
much, Epic.
like the submarine spin-off is we don't need that. The Daryl and Carol spin-off didn't need to happen.
I absolutely agree, man. Totally agree. And thank you so much, Epic. I do have to end the stream right here and now. I'm past the time now, but I want to thank you so much, man.
Hey, your next stream, you should definitely talk about the Travis's death episode, Fear Season 3, Episode 2, The New Frontier. You should review that.
I think I will try to do more Fear live streams. I'll definitely try to go back in the good Fear episodes, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the next one. All right, Epic, and everyone watching, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate this, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye.